Why do you think YouTube golf and golf media is having such a moment right now?
It's really interesting to see the growth of YouTube golf, especially over the last couple of years. I think the boom really happened during COVID. Everyone was just getting into the game. There wasn't much to do. And so everyone was just sitting down watching YouTube golf videos. And from there, I mean, the whole landscape pretty much has changed. And people are really loving the relatability of golf. And that's really why we all play. Yes, you want to see the best in the world shoot amazing scores and do things that are superhuman. But at the core of it, golf is all about community. The best rounds that you have are with your friends. Maybe it's a twilight round and you're just, goofing off and having the best time. And so to see that on in media, I think people just really relate to it. And it's something that's just been really enjoyable. And it's been really cool to see the growth of golf through media work.
Given your professionalism in the sport, when you're watching, are you able to turn off your brain and have a good time with them? Or are you kind of critiquing it, seeing what you would have done differently?
No, definitely not. I think what makes, again, the space so interesting is that we're all coming to the videos in a very unique and different way. And so it's fun to watch the different personalities and the editing styles and even their golf games too. Like I find joy watching, foreplay or Bob Does Sport when they're having, kind of not the best round of golf and they're struggling through it. And that's so relatable. And then watching Brad Dahlke shoot amazing scores or Bryson DeChambeau, like again, there is something for everyone. And so I just find joy in watching that and taking inspiration for sure, but really just celebrating all of our differences and, what makes golf so great.
Is there any up and coming channels that might not have the biggest subscriber count, but you do enjoy watching that you'd want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot right now, which is really exciting. I think someone who's going to have a big boom, and they're already starting to this year, is Ryan Ruffles and his channel with the lads. Um, Love their content. I think that they're doing a really great job, and I think that, this is just going to be a really big year for Ryan and especially for their channel.
When you first jumped into golf content creation, what was the landscape like? Because it was very different than what it is today.
It was non-existent. It did not exist. So when I first came in, you had like Rick Shields doing some YouTube golf instruction. You had the Bryan brothers doing trick shot videos. You had No Laying Up doing kind of like a golf podcast. And then I come in and I'm doing, mostly Instagram at that time, but there was no pathway to become a social media creator within golf. It was kind of laughed about like it wasn't taken seriously by anyone, especially within the industry. And it was really interesting to kind of figure it out as we were all going. And again, there wasn't like a lot of collaboration, kind of more around like 2000, this is 2015. So around like 2016, 17, there started to become more collaboration. But even then, it was something we were kind of doing for fun and barely getting by and trying to figure it out. But a lot of brands at that time were also not investing in golf content creation. They were still focusing mostly on golf professionals. And so it's really interesting again to see that growth and to see it become this booming industry. From when I first started it, there was no one really doing it. It was not taken seriously, and no one was really investing into golf content creation.
Were you, obviously you were doing it because it was more of like a need to survive, but did you also see that it was the future?
So yes and no. I think it's interesting. So when I first got into it, I was playing golf, trying to play golf professionally, and I didn't have any financial backing. So I kind of stumbled into golf media work. So someone found my Instagram online. They wrote an article about me, and I went viral. So I went from having 500 followers to like 100,000 followers overnight. So this
Really
wasn't
in
even
one night?
really like literally overnight my entire life changed. And I was not expecting it. This wasn't a path that I thought was even an option. Like I only really wanted to play golf professionally, but a couple of companies started reaching out and they were like, hey, we can give you free golf balls if you talk about it, or we can give you this if you talk about it. And I was like, I need that. I really need as much help as I can get right now. And so I was using golf media to finance my pro career. And that was really my only goal. So I kind of had tunnel vision at that time, was just let's do what we need to do in media work to then hopefully get to a point where I can play golf professionally full time without having to do both. And when I realized that playing golf professionally wasn't a path for me, I started leaning into golf media, and that is really where I put all my focus. And I think once I made that switch, which was around 2017, 2018, I started to see more of the momentum. People were starting to get more into it. And I knew that I was kind of a step ahead because I started this so early, and I did start to see a little bit more of the path. But when I first started out, there was no like, this is going to be the biggest thing and I'm going to make so much money and all this stuff. And it's like, that was never even something that crossed my mind. It was, I need to do this out of necessity, and I really have no other options.
What's up, guys? Real quick, an announcement from the coffee bean and tea leaf. These are one of the drinks that I saw somebody order and I immediately had to look into. Look at the colors. Tell me you don't want to drink this. The coffee bean and tea leaf just introduced their new butterfly pea tropical teas, available from June 3rd through August 18th. These are bright, these are fruity, these are summer. You can try the dragon fruit lychee butterfly tea. It's a little more sweet and fruity. It's absolutely unbelievable. This tastes like summer. Imagine this going to the beach. Or you can try the coconut butterfly tea, which is smoother and a little more subtle. Or bring a friend and try both. They mix tropical fruit flavors with botanicals, so it's really refreshing, but it has a little more going on than your typical iced tea. It's like a flavor blast city. Just get one of these and walk around the mall. That's your day. That's your Saturday. Personally, I like it a little sweeter. The dragon fruit lychee butterfly tea is delicious. But again, I also love coconut, so coconut butterfly tea is amazing as well. So if you want to try something new and refreshing, a little different from your regular order, these are definitely worth trying. Just head to your nearest coffee bean and tea leaf. And if you plan on trying one, let me know which one you're gonna try. Send me a picture. I'll respond. What's up, guys? Real quick. The biggest stage in world soccer is here, and every goal changes everything. And now FanDuel is giving you a reason to root for every single one. Introducing Every Goal Pays. Bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. That's right, more goals means more bonus bets, and all you have to do is turn on your token. If you're looking to add some more fun while you're watching sports, from the opening whistle to the final kick, FanDuel has you covered. Check out my link down below if you want to get started today with FanDuel. This month for soccer is going to be insane, and I cannot wait. Can you take me back to that first big paycheck at that time where you're like, I can't believe I'm being paid $300 for this?
Yeah. It was wild. So I had just come out of college. I played golf at San Diego State, and I was really just struggling financially at the time. And I signed this deal with this company, and I remember it just feeling like the pinnacle of my life. Like, I never thought I was ever going to see a check with that much money on it. And it was $10,000, which I just, I like call my parents and I'm like, I'm going to splurge. And I think I went shopping for the first time and like bought something that I wanted. And it just felt like such a life-changing moment for me, was to like sign that deal and to like get that money. And I just felt like so much pressure just was taken off of me because of that. And it was just such like a cool moment. Or like the first time I hit 10K and you get that K, and I'm like, those moments just felt so special and so big to me. And I remember like it was yesterday.
Once your following explodes overnight, where do you take your social media? Where do you know what to do next?
You don't. You just kind of figure it out as you're going. Like I said, like I had people in other industries that I could look to, mostly in like fashion, beauty, and lifestyle and fitness. And I feel like that was kind of what was booming at the time. But in golf, there was really nowhere that I could look to help me decide, hey, this is the next step I need to take to grow this, or this is how I need to progress with my content, or this is the team I need to hire, or these are the people that I need to work with. It was really just trial and error. But I think for me, the best thing that happened is that I had no help and I had no guidance. And so I was just figuring it out on my own. And a lot of the connections that I made with my community was off of authenticity and vulnerability. And so I think the times where I succeeded were great, but especially the times where I failed, that's where I was able to connect with my audience the most. And I didn't have a team saying, don't say that, don't post that, don't do this. I was just doing whatever felt natural and comfortable to me. And I think building my community off of this vulnerability really cemented this kind of long lasting relationship that I do have with my community. And a lot of people have followed me from the very beginning. And it's been cool to see that. And I think it was because of all of those moments where I did fail, or I did mess up, or I did the wrong thing. It just makes you so human, and everyone can relate to that and kind of understand those struggles. And I think that was the best thing that happened.
How natural and comfortable were you at first when you were articulating your thoughts of how the game should be played and holding the camera and getting the placement and understanding the best view of what you were trying to explain?
I was so terrible at it. And it's so funny because I think people look at me now or have all these misconceptions about me, but I'm painfully introverted. Painfully introverted. I have a lot of social anxiety. And again, this was out of necessity. So it's not like I was born to be on camera and this is what I want to do. And I feel like this is where I feel most natural. I had to work really, really hard at it. And I think one thing that was easier for me is that it wasn't like I was on a big set with a lot of people and there was a lot of pressure. It was me and my phone. And so it felt like a very one-on-one conversation, which I think helped that transition a little bit. But I had no idea what I was doing at all. And for a number of years, I mean, until pretty much this year, I just had my mom film for me whenever I'm, around her, and it's always just been on my phone. Like I've never had like a big team of people. And again, I think I just like that intimacy between like me and my phone, which feels just kind of like a one-on-one conversation, which has just always kind of helped me relax. And I think bring out the best parts of me when I'm in like a big shoe or around a lot of people. I get very timid and insecure and I feel like I do tense up because it is something that I struggle with. But when it's just me in a room with my phone, then I'm allowed to kind of like speak freely and really just kind of be myself.
Being introverted and you're playing golf and there's spectators all around you, how do you stay focused on just hitting the ball to where it needs to go?
It's sometimes it's better to have people around because I think when, especially for me, I have a very kind of love-hate relationship with the game of golf. I'm a perfectionist and I put too much pressure on myself, and that's the worst thing you can do when you're out there, and you tend to speak so negatively to yourself. And so when there's other people around, I feel that I'm a little bit lighter and I'm not as hard on myself, and it's nice to like have people to talk to or make jokes and kind of lighten the situation up. So I really prefer that. Sometimes it does. Let me say this: it's nerve wracking having a ton of people around you, and you want to do a good job and you want to hit the best shot ever. But because it's golf, you're going to hit bad shots, and when you do, it's nice to have people around to kind of laugh about it and make the situation better, which makes the next shot a little bit easier.
Do you mentally reset yourself if you have a bad hole and then you go on to the next one? How do you stay focused to try and pick back up?
It's so hard. I've seen so many sports psychologists about it. There's like something about golf that is so deeply tied into your ego that makes you feel so worthless when you're not playing well. And so you have to snap out of that as quickly as possible because with golf, the errors can compound quickly. And so you hit one bad shot and all of a sudden you get in your head about it, and then you hit another bad shot, and then you make a mental error, and then before you know it, you've made a double or a triple, and then you're on a bogey train. You just start to get really, really quick. And I think that's what happens to a lot of people. It's like you hit one bad shot and all of a sudden you're thinking of the next shot. And you have so much time to think about all the bad things because you're out there by yourself for a number of hours. And so you really have to slow down and kind of disconnect at times. And so something that I really focus on, that a number of sports psychologists have said this, is when you are ready to hit your shot, that is game time. That's when you think about what you're going to do, why you're going to do it, and then you execute it. But as soon as you're done, you get maybe 5 steps to kind of ruminate and maybe be a little bit angry or even say that was a really great shot. But then after that, you disconnect. So you look at the trees, you find some, a bird, or you try to focus on something else, trying to get yourself away from golf for a second, because as soon as you start thinking about 24/7, that's when all the negativity and the bad thoughts start to come in. And so I think just disconnecting, slowing down, taking a couple deep breaths, that's the best thing you can do.
What are some of the lows of when you're trying to become a professional golfer?
It's brutal. I don't think a lot of people realize how tough it is. So one, financially. It's really expensive to try and play because you have to pay for all of your travel and the tournament expenses. This is when I was on mini tours. And so I think people think that everything's kind of covered for you, and it's not. And even when you're on the LPGA or the PGA Tour, you're paying for everything out of pocket. And if you don't make a cut, then you don't get paid at all. So it's not like another job where you can go in and you know you're going to get a paycheck, whether it's a good day or a bad day. If you play bad and don't make the cut, you make nothing.
What is the
So
cut? Like the top five?
it's usually half the field. So you play normal rounds are tournaments are 4 rounds starting on Thursday, and you play 2 rounds, and then they usually cut half the field. So after Friday, half the field is removed, and then the other half will move on to the weekend, and then on Saturday and Sunday, that's where the players will get paid. But yeah, you really need to make the cut to get paid, and so you're stressed out. You are worried about, one, all of the financials that are going into this, and then two, it's just physically and emotionally exhausting. I mean, being week in and week out on the tour, it sounds like the best job ever, especially if you love golf. But as soon as it starts to become a job, it really does take a toll on you emotionally. And most of the time in golf, you're going to play bad. There's very few weeks that you're going to play really great. And most tour players say that they make all of their money within like 4 weeks because that's when everything is flowing and it feels great. But the rest of the time, you're struggling and you're trying to survive. And so it's constantly like a roller coaster, and you have to get through all of the lows to enjoy the highs. But there's so many more lows in golf than there are highs. And so you have to be so incredibly mentally tough to persevere through that.
What separates a good pro golfer from an incredible pro golfer?
Mental. It really is all mental. When you see even like a bunch of the mini tour players, a lot of them have pretty much the same skill level, but it's being able to do it under pressure. And because you could say, well, they could drive the ball a little better, they could their irons a little better, they could putt a little better, but it's doing it when it counts. And these guys are just so incredibly tough out there, and they enjoy competition. I think that there are players that don't make it because either financially they can't continue on, emotionally they just can't keep it up, week in and week out. But yeah, it's that, like, you almost need to be a little like sick in the head to want to like continue to keep playing because it is so hard. And like they're chomping at the bit to get to the next week, and they want to keep playing, and they're keep striving for better and more and more and more. And they love the competition. And I think that is what sets them apart.
I mean, you've been around the best players in the world. What do you think they all have in common?
Mental toughness. I mean, it doesn't matter like what sport. So I've been lucky enough to play with some of the best athletes in different sports in a golf environment. And even the way that they bring that mentality over into golf is just so different. I played with Derek Jeter, and we were talking about pressure. And I was like, how did you do it? I mean, to be in Yankee Stadium, having people yell at you and scream and say the most crazy things. And then every single time you seem to always perform under the most intense pressure. And he said, I didn't even think about it. And for me, I obsess about it. I am so worried about competition, worried about other people's opinions, and worried about all of these things. And he just said, I worked my ass off. I was prepared and I was ready and I executed. And it's just the self-belief that they have in themselves and how mentally strong they are to get through those big moments and to perform. It's just something that comes so natural to them that, to me, it looks so effortless. And I think it's just something that you are born with, and you can carry that throughout your entire life. But it's really interesting to see just their mentality. And it really is kind of that it factor. You either have it or you don't, and they have it. And it's so hard to describe what that it is.
Like Derek Jeter, we're seeing so many other athletes from other fields coming into golf. What do you think is the most surprising thing for them as they step out onto the fair?
I think there's a big debate on if a pro athlete had enough time, could they compete on the PGA Tour level? And I feel like a lot of athletes who play golf for fun get to like a +1 or a +2, which is a fantastic golfer. And they think that if I had maybe a couple more years that I could play at a pro level. And I don't think people realize how good the tour pros really are and that level that they need to get to. But it's been really cool to see all of these different athletes or entertainers or be so excited about the game of golf and be so obsessed with it. Like I go to all these events and they are addicted and it's their most favorite thing that they get to do. And it's just so cool to see like the greatest athletes of all time get to a golf course and be nervous over a 3-footer. It's like that's wild. And how difficult it is for some of them to, I mean, some of them are amazing. You have like, a Steph Curry, for example, but then you have others who are getting into it and they're so athletic, but seem to struggle with golf at first. But again, they just love it so much. So it's just really cool how golf just brings so many different people together.
How does Adam Sandler rank up on the golfers that you've been able to see?
He is the coolest, most genuine person I have ever met. Like, you forget that he is this global superstar when you're talking to him because he'll ask you questions about your family and your life and everything about you. And it was really cool to be next to him on the Happy Gilmore set. And he was so interested in the golf swing and the mechanics and how he could improve. And then I'm sitting there watching him do the Happy Gilmore swing perfectly. Like, which is really hard to do, to actually do a running start and to hit the ball consistently pure. It's so difficult. And we did multiple takes and he was flushing it every single time, which was so cool to like, it was like a pinch me moment to like see it in person. But he has really good hand-eye coordination. He was absolutely crushing the golf ball. And like I said, with a running start in front of everyone, it was cool. It was really cool.
What was your reaction when you found out that the offer came to you?
I didn't believe it at first. I was like, okay, you guys are messing with me. This isn't actually going to happen. Because at first they're like, we'll talk about it, we'll try, and we'll just see. And they're like, well, do you want to be in the movie? And I'm like, yeah, of course I do. And they sent it over and they're like, this is your scene. I'm like, I still feel like you're messing with me. I think until I'm like on set and I see him and we're shooting, then I'll believe it. But I didn't believe it until that very moment.
I've been told that Happy Gilmore Productions, their set is incredible. The vibes are so relaxed, great catering.
I haven't been on any movie sets. So like I don't have anything else that I mean I've done like, my kind of smaller stuff. But yes, like the vibes were great. I mean, there were so many extras there. So we shot our scene at a Dick's Sporting Goods. So we had the entire store to ourselves. When Adam came on set with all of the extras, he like pumped everyone up and everyone was like cheering and then they were like dancing and like the energy was just so light and like easy and fun and just made I think everyone just feel so comfortable. And I mean, we were there for a really long time and I was exhausted after, and I don't know how he continues to like shoot every single day for like weeks on end. It is so impressive. But yeah, everyone there was just it was just such an amazing experience. And it's hard to put in words, but like you were saying, yeah, it just was like second to none.
I'd love to talk a little bit about your golf game. What do you think is your strongest uh, asset? Is it putting, driving? What might it be?
Yeah, it changes all the time. So when I was playing consistently, I would always say it was my short game. So I was a little inconsistent off the tee, and my irons have always been really bad. My iron play is the worst part of my game, but I was always able to like get it up and down. So like my short game was always great. I don't play as much or practice as much as when I was trying to play professionally. And the first thing that goes is your short game. So now I would say that my driving is pretty good, but I used to always rely on my short game. So it changes pretty much every single day, but I would still say probably my short game.
Is there a shot you hit in competition that you'll never forget?
It's funny because you always think that it's going to be like the big moments or the big shots that you remember, or like a putt that you had to win, but it's actually the most random shots ever that you really remember. I was playing a college event in Florida and I had 225 to a pin. It was uphill and I had to hit a huge draw around this tree. And I saw the shot, I felt the shot, and when I hit the ball, it didn't even feel like I hit anything. It was like I was going through butter, and the shot did exactly what I wanted to do. It drew 10 yards around this tree and it landed to 2 feet. And I will never forget that shot because when you see it, you feel it, and you hit it, and you do everything that you need to be done, and you pull it off, there's no better feeling. Like hitting a perfectly pure iron shot is the best feeling ever.
What's something casual golfers might not understand about competitive play?
The amount of pressure. So even if you're playing in like a member guest or a club championship, it is very still different than like true competitive golf. There's just something about it that is so drastically different that it changes your mentality, how you approach the game, and it's just a different animal. It's so difficult. I think what people don't realize about pro golf is that the course setups are vastly different than what people are playing every single day. So, for example, I played golf in San Diego and we would play Torrey Pines here and there sometimes. And a very fun, can be difficult golf course, but they don't have the rough grown up that much. They have the fairways pretty wide. Greens are receptive. The pins are quite easy because they want to make sure that pace of play is good. So they don't really set it up in a way that's very difficult. But when they have a tour event, and especially when they have a major there, it is a different golf course. The rough is higher. They bring the fairways in. They're tucking the pins. They're making the greens very firm and fast. And that could add 10 to 15 shots onto your score just based off of course setup. And so you'll see sometimes online people saying, well, I shot a 75 out there and so shot a 75 in this event. And I'm like, it is not the same golf course. Like it's not even close to the same golf course. And just having the greens run a little bit faster or be a little bit more firm, or the rough being grown up just a little bit more, it makes the golf course so difficult. And I don't think people realize how different it is until you can see it in person, but especially if you can play a golf course at, a championship level, that's when you really see the difference.
Can you rank your top three favorite golf courses that you've ever played?
Okay. I'll do private and public because I do think that they're very different golf courses. Pine Valley, number one, Cypress, number two, Oakmont, number three. That's on private side. And then for public, I would say, not in a specific order, but Goat Hill. And then you have Fox Hollow in Colorado, Goat Hill's in Oceanside. And then number three, oh, that's so hard. There's so many. I play so many public golf courses. Highland Ranch, it's Dee's golf course, and that's in Colorado. Those are my three favorite public golf courses.
Have you played the one in Northern California, on 17 Mile Drive?
I haven't yet.
How would those conditions affect the way that you play with the wind and even just the moisture from the ocean air?
Yeah, so I grew up playing golf in Colorado, born and raised there. And I always say it's the best place to play golf, but the worst place to learn how to play golf because you have bent grass, which bent grass is usually the easiest to read and it's the easiest to hit off of. The rough can get a little bit thick, but for the most part, bent is probably everyone's preferred unless you grew up in a different area. But bent is the easiest to kind of learn and to play on. There's no grain that you have to deal with. And the ball flies forever because we're in altitude. So you hit the ball miles. But then when you go to Florida, for example, you have a lot of humidity in the air, and then you have Bermuda grass, and Bermuda's really grainy, and so it's really hard to putt off of, and it's really sticky, and so you can get like around the greens, you have to have a very different technique, and the ball goes a lot shorter. But then when you go to California, Then you have like the ocean air, which is really thick. And so it can go, the ball reacts pretty much similar to Florida with that humidity, but like it's cold and it's thick air. And then you have kikuya grass, which is impossible to hit off of because it's really, really sticky.
Where's that
And
at?
like the rough can get like really dense. And so like when you're hitting, for example, if you're off the green and you choose to putt it, the ball almost like gets stuck in the grass. It's almost like Velcro. And so you want to chip it, but then when you chip it, you get kind of dug into the ground. So it's really hard. And so everywhere that you go, and then bunkers and the sand of the bunkers are all very different. And so you really have to adjust your game for like certain places that you're playing in because the ball reacts so differently depending on, you know, the grass, the humidity, the temperature. All of these factors play into the wind, the rain, everything plays into your round.
How important is having a good caddy, somebody that you can bounce your ideas off of what they're seeing?
For me, and it depends on the player. So I think there are some players who tend to like to make all the decisions themselves, and having a caddy there is more just to confirm what they're already seeing or feeling. Then you have other players who rely really heavily on their caddy, whether that is for yardages or emotional support or green reading. So for me, I'm not the best green reader. And so when I have a caddy that is good at green reading, I feel unstoppable. Then you have someone like a Jordan Spieth, for example, and he's always talking to his caddy because he likes to just kind of get things off of his chest. So they're always having a constant communication. Then you have a player like a Brooks Koepka or a Charlie Hall, and they don't even carry a yardage book. So a yardage book tells you where to hit it, all of the numbers. It kind of lays the entire course out for you. They don't even carry a yardage book because they rely so heavily on their caddy on like what the number is and where to hit it. So it depends on every single player, but I personally think that caddies are so incredibly important. And you see that by kind of these magic pairings that have kind of come together. Ted Scott and Scotty Scheffler, for example. Scotty was kind of figuring everything out, but as soon as he got linked up with Ted, he really started to thrive, and they work really well together. And so it's like once you find a caddy, you want to hold on to them, and like that is kind of like a could be a missing puzzle piece to like getting to that next level of success.
What kind of fitness and workout routine do you lock in on when you're making sure that you can hit those best shots of yours?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think that, golf and fitness has evolved over the years. When you look back and a lot of the golfers weren't really working out, and Tiger Woods really changed the game there. And now all of the golfers are working out really, really hard. And I think that it's different for everyone. So for me, core strength is really important. So I love doing reformer Pilates. So Legree is what I really try to stick to. It's so great for your core strength, and that's something that I really need to work on. And also my wrist strength as well. I struggle in getting into certain positions because my wrists aren't strong enough. I don't lift as heavy as I used to because I felt that doing more of like a Legree and a lot of like incline walking. So I'll do incline walking with a weighted vest on. And so I just do things that I feel I'm lacking in my swing that I can hopefully get a little bit stronger, which are kind of those like smaller muscles and getting like I'll do box jumps and a bunch of different things, sprints to get my fast twitch muscles going so I can get my swing speed up.
So weightlifting doesn't really work in your favor.
It probably could, but I just felt that um, working on these other areas helped me a little bit more instead of really trying to lift as heavy as I possibly could. Also, just avoiding injury as well. Golf is really hard on your back, and when you're doing really heavy deadlifts or you're really trying to stress your body, I don't have like a team around me to be able to do the rehab to help my body to recover for the next day. And so this is just really the routine that has kind of helped me. And also for me too, I have to balance performance with aesthetics. So I just feel like this was kind of like the perfect balance of both.
When a celebrity comes onto the golf course, and if you're just aware of their presence and the way they're walking and just what you've seen them do just by their own body of work, can you tell how they're going to be performing on the golf course?
Ooh, I always play this game with my friends where we'll see someone walking around in golf clothes and we have to guess their handicap because you can usually tell if they're a good golfer or a bad golfer. And sometimes it can be a little bit trickier if someone has like all of the gear and they have, kind of the swagger about them. But there are like certain things that'll kind of call out them being a good golfer. Like the way that they drape their towel over their bag is a big one. So like if someone lays their towel and not just like a small little towel, it's a big kind of golf towel, usually white, and they'll drape it over their clubs. They're usually a pretty good golfer. If they have an alignment stick in their bag, probably a pretty good golfer. If they have like either a staff bag or like a smaller bag, depends. If they have their name on their bag, usually a pretty good golfer. So there's like little things like that like you can point out, like the accessories that they have, the clubs that they're playing, the way that they carry their bag, the way that they set up to a ball. All of those things kind of go into like, okay, I can tell they're going to be a good player or they're just learning the game because there's so many unwritten stupid rules in golf.
Which celebrity did you see was the best golfer?
Ooh, I mean, Steph Curry's such a good golfer. He's a really good golfer. I played with Nick Jonas in an event. He also hits the ball really well. A
Have
lot
you
of the athletes are pretty good. I'm trying to think of.
have you played with
Uh,
Brian Baumgartner?
I haven't. I've played in so many events with him, but we haven't played together yet.
Ah,
He is a great golfer. Justin Timberlake is a good golfer. Mark Wahlberg plays really fast. He also hits the ball. He has a really good short game. But yeah, there's so many like pretty decently good celebrities.
what was the biggest prize check that you won at a tournament?
Um, I'm trying to remember. I won a mini tour event and then I made a kind of Scottish Open, but I don't think either of those were over $5,000.
Do you get a
I
big
think
check?
I was like a big check. I'd have to look back. I think the most money I made was when I played the celebrity event in Tahoe, and I think I made $11,000 in that event, from what I recall. But I never made any of my money from playing golf.
For golfers, when they win like $10,000, $25,000, does that get split amongst agents, then managers, and then trickle down to them?
Yeah, so it's different for how everyone sets it up, but normally the caddy gets a cut. And again, it depends on like the situation that you have with your managers. I never had a manager when I was playing golf professionally, so I don't really know how that goes. I don't think they get a cut from tournament winnings, but I do think they get a cut from the deals that they bring in. But I know the caddy gets a cut from tournament winnings.
Can we go back to when you first found golf and just what your first initial thoughts of it was?
So I didn't come from a big golf family. I was trying to figure out what I want to do after I stopped gymnastics. So I was doing gymnastics at a really high level, and I come from a pretty athletic family. And so after I quit, we kind of just sat down and thought, what sport would I be good at? And so my dad said, I'll take you out to the driving range, and I think you're going to like it because of my personality. Like I said, I'm very introverted, and golf is an individual sport. And I hit that first golf ball and I was obsessed immediately. I loved it so much, and it felt so different from what I was doing as a gymnast. I mean, I was in the gym 6 days a week, 8 to 10 hours every single day, and it was just really hard on my body. And the fear that had to go into it, just golf just felt like a nice, relaxing release from what gymnastics was. Turns out golf is mentally even harder. Not an easy sport at all. But no, I just loved it immediately, and knew that that's what I wanted to do.
Was there a moment that you realized that you were good at it and you had a chance of becoming something more than just playing casually?
So the very first lesson that I had, my swing instructor said, you are very athletic, and I picked it up really easily. And within a year of playing golf, I shot par. So I knew that I had some type of, talent at it, but I didn't think I was really that good until I started playing junior golf. And I was never like the best at it, but I was always kind of like good enough to I was ranked like I think top 25 in the world as a junior golfer, and I was a top 5 recruit, and but I was never like number one, two, or three. I was always just kind of like above average at golf. And I always wanted to play golf professionally, and everyone always told me that I had the talent to do it, but I always felt like there was lacking something mentally that you know that I think held me back from getting to that level. And so I never really felt that I was good at golf. I always felt like I was behind everyone else and I was always looking to someone else. So, like, for example, in my graduation year, we had Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas who were playing tour events when they were in high school. And there were just people, or Lexi Thompson is who I played against a lot, who had so much talent, so much potential, and they you could just tell that they were on to bigger and better things. And for me, I was just always looking at them as that's where I want to be, but I just don't know if I'll have the ability to ever get there. So I always felt like I was chasing everyone else, and I was never the one that was the number one that, was going to be a star, all of these things. So I don't think I ever really had that feeling like, oh, I'm talented at this and I'm the best at this and I could do this. I always felt like I was chasing everyone else.
Even when you shifted over to social media and golf creation on there, did you ever think that you were going to just stop? Did you ever get to that point where you wanted to quit?
With social media? Yeah. A lot of times I struggle with social media sometimes because I'm quite sensitive. And so you have to be very strong and have thick skin to do this day in and day out. And I have such a great community, which always kind of carries me through those hard times. But yeah, when you feel like the whole world is crashing down on you and everyone has an opinion about something that's going on in your life, which is really hard to handle even privately, but then to publicly have to deal with it, it's a lot. And there are times where you have those thoughts of maybe my life would be easier if I didn't have this, or maybe it'd be easier if I didn't do this, or if I didn't have this community, or all of these things. And yeah, definitely there's been times, many times where it crosses my mind, but I've never given it up. And I think it again just goes to my community with how supportive and how loving they are, that the good has always outweighed the bad for me.
How often are you playing now?
It depends. So I go through like phases. And I think it's if I have a really bad round of golf, I get obsessed about it and I'll practice and play and try to get my game to a spot that I feel good with. And then when I'm at a spot where I feel good, I'll kind of like be a little bit, easier about it. But I'm working on my game pretty hard right now. So I try to play at least three to four times per week if I have time and able to do so.
Is there anyone who would really excite you if you got that email? Hey, we want you to be part of this. You'd be the fourth. Who's that person that would get you excited?
Kevin Hart. He's like obsessed with golf right now, and I think like playing with him would be the most fun round of golf ever.
Are you his partner or you're against him?
I would want to be his partner for sure.
What TV show do you think is most accurate to how golf really is? Did you see that show with Owen Wilson
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Apple?
I would say the most realistic portrayal of golf in media was definitely Tin Cup. It's one of my favorite movies. I can relate to it. There's a moment where his caddy Romeo walks into his RV and Roy's just like has all these training aids on him trying to like find his swing and figure his life out. And I think all of us in golf have like been there that moment and can relate to it so much. But yeah, that is one of my all-time favorite movies. And I think it's just, yeah, such a good portrayal of like what golf is.
How do you think your acceptance into golf would have been had it been in today's world versus 10 years ago when no one else was doing it?
Ooh, that's a really great question. Because I think that I had a lot of conversation around me, which led to growth on social media because what I was doing was so different. And so that that kind of conflict and those conversations was important for the growth that I had. And I don't know if I came out now, if I would have had as big of a splash because it's been kind of done already. I do think because of what I was able to do, so many other women in golf have now been able to make a career in media. And I don't know how all of that would have progressed if I kind of didn't lead or help lead the way there and help pave a path. And so it would be interesting to see what the golf landscape would look like and if there would be as many women doing golf content creation. So it's really hard to say how I would be responded to now compared to back then. But I think again, like I came in at a perfect point for myself, and I'm really glad that I was kind of one of the first to do it. And I think it really impacted my career in a really positive way.
Have you seen the trailer for the new Will Ferrell show on Netflix?
Yeah.
Have you seen any screen testings of it?
I haven't, but I'm really excited to see it. I love Will Ferrell, and I think it's just so cool that we're getting like all of these golf shows now, and people who might not know golf or have this idea of what golf is, you now have all these different pieces of media that people can look at, and I just feel like golf is really having its moment right now.
It
Golf and
really.
hockey, both are really having their moments.
So where else do you spend your time now besides golf?
Ooh, that's that's kind of it. I mean, it sounds so boring, but I love golf so much, and it's also my job. So when I'm not shooting or working within golf, I'm going out and practicing and playing for fun. And really, golf is my entire life.
Aren't you doing a media company as well?
Yes, so I launched my own media company with Pro Shop, and Pro Shop helped produce the Happy Gilmore movie, and they also did the Netflix doc Full Swing. And so we're trying to build out a new golf series right now, which is really exciting. And we've been working really hard on that. But I'm really leaning into kind of like long form YouTube content, which I would kind of do here and there for the last couple years. But I'm really focusing on that now. And it's all around golf. So again, I'm playing more than ever because we're always out there like shooting with new people. And I'm starting this series with other female golf creators, which again hasn't really happened too much in the space. So it's really nice to collaborate with other women within the industry. And the first episode just came out, and we have a bunch more lined up.
So that'll be linked down below, guys. Go check it out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How come you don't do any shorts on your YouTube channel?
Because I never really tried to grow my YouTube channel. So I had really focused in on all of the other platforms, and I was doing YouTube kind of for fun, but it wasn't really something that I was investing a lot of time into, mostly just because it's really expensive to like build out a full team, and it's time consuming, and I am fully independent. And so I was just waiting for the perfect time to be able to invest into creating long form content, which is actually really hard to do, especially with golf, because you need a full team of, multiple camera shots. You need all of the editors, like the videos are really long. And so I just really never invested into it. And until now, and part of that is the strategy of like posting shorts and doing all of the other things that, I just never really did before because it wasn't at the forefront.
I feel like it's going to explode, so I'm really excited to follow that.
Oh, thank you. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Cool. This has been awesome. Thanks so much for making the time.
No, thank you so much. It was a really enjoyable conversation.
If you ever come out to LA and you want to do it in person, if you come out for the Will Ferrell show, let me know.
Yeah, I'm in LA more recently now, so I'll definitely have to do that.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks so much for making the time.
Thank you so much. Really enjoyed this.
Cool. See you, Paige.
Bye.